The last game that I want to talk about, Baltimore Ravens going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. I have a lot of things to say about this game. The Ravens could have won this game. And I'm not saying that just to say it. You watch this game, the Ravens had every opportunity to win this game. Everything that the Ravens needed to do to win this game went their way. They were able to get the run game going. They outgained the Bengals on the ground, 155 rushing yards to 51. Tyler Huntley played well. It's just that what hurt Baltimore was the 2 turnovers. You had the interception by Tyler Huntley early, but he was able to bounce back from that. But the biggest one that he had was pretty much the dagger in this game for the Ravens. And that was that fumble that he had on the goal line when he decided to stretch the ball out. He got knocked out by a Bengals defender. Sam Hubbard takes it 98 yards. The Bengals take the lead, and that pretty much is ball game. You listen to any Ravens player, any Ravens coaches, after this loss in their post-game press conference, they all say the same thing. They felt like they were the better team, and they all felt like they could have won. And even a couple of players felt like they could have won this game if they had Lamar. This was a physical game, okay? There were a lot of guys getting banged up. The Bengals lost another offensive lineman, so now they're down 3 starters. They lost their starting offensive tackle, Jonah Williams. So now it's like you paid all that money in free agency to revamp and improve the offensive line just to kind of be back at the same point you were around the same time last season, with the offensive line being the concern going into the playoffs or for the remainder of the Bengals playoff run. And now you're trying to wonder if the Bengals can still make it to the Super Bowl this year the same way they made it last year, not having great play from the offensive line, but being able to generate a lot of big plays in the passing game, whether that be pushing the football vertically or getting big plays after the catch. Was that 3rd and goal quarterback sneak a bad play call or just poor execution? I think it's a mixture of both. A lot of people want to put the blame on the play calling. You heard the J.K. Dobbins post-game press conference, or you heard his statements after the game calling out the play calling. He didn't really think it was a good decision to put the ball in Tyler Huntley's hands in that situation. And, I can understand that. But at the same time, I've yet to see anybody stop a quarterback sneak this year with teammates pushing the quarterback forward. I mean, it was at the 2-1 yard line, whatever. If Tyler Huntley doesn't reach that football out, I think he probably scores. And even if he doesn't score, it's 3rd and goal. So you still have another opportunity on 4th and goal to punch the football in. I don't really think that play call was as bad as what a lot of people are trying to make it out to be. I just think it was poor execution on Tyler Huntley's part. There is no reason for you to stretch the ball out. And you can say, well, JT, we should have never put him in that situation in the first place. I mean, says who? Who says it was wrong to put Tyler Huntley in that spot? People keep saying he was too small. Bruh, it's a damn quarterback sneak. You don't need to be Derrick Henry to get a quarterback sneak. All you need to do is find you a small little hole, fall down in it, wiggle your way through, and score the damn touchdown. You don't need to be running and mauling guys over. He didn't have to go over the top. All you had to do was get small and find a way to wiggle your way through the hole. For any of you guys who played any level of football and played running back, what did your running back coach always used to tell you? Get small. You get what I'm saying? It's like you don't have to run through everybody every single time to score or to get, a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and inches. Sometimes it's just all about finding the small hole and wiggling your way through. You don't gotta power through everybody. It's a lot of people trying to say, well, JT, Tyler Huntley was too small. He wouldn't have been able to get through the defensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals. Bro, you had 2 teammates pushing them from the back. I'm pretty sure if he doesn't stretch that football out, he keeps powering his way through, or he keeps his feet moving, he gets down, he gets low, with the assistance of his teammate plus him continuing to keep his legs pushing and moving, I think he probably would have got in. That pretty much was the biggest play that won this game for the Cincinnati Bengals. And for the Cincinnati Bengals, offensively, you know, when you first watched this game, it looked like Cincinnati was going to run away with this game. But after the Ravens got that forced fumble with the Kyle Hamilton hit on Hayden Hurst and they got the ball back, you realize that this probably was going to be a close game. Cincinnati, their offensive line, had a really hard time slowing down the pass rush of the Baltimore Ravens. And even though they were still able to find a way to win this game, they won this game because of their defense. This offense at times has struggled against better defenses in the NFL. They didn't really have a great performance against the New England Patriots. Their offense struggled against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. If it wasn't for the 5 gifts that Tom Brady and company gave them, they probably would have had a way more difficult time moving the ball in that game. The Ravens defense really got after it. They got 4 sacks on Joe Burrow. That kept them in the game. Like, the defense played a fantastic game. And the Ravens overall played a really great game. You got to remember, this team was what? A 9-point underdog heading into this matchup. So there weren't too many high expectations for them being able to keep this game close. Hell, I thought the Bengals were going to cover, not because I didn't believe in the Ravens defense, but I didn't believe in the Ravens offense. But you know what they say, sometimes the best offense can be a great defense. And in a game like this, the Ravens were going to need their defense to show up. And their defense came and they made the plays necessary that gave them a shot at winning this game in the end. But for the Ravens, with the kind of style of football they play, turnovers are big, especially when you have them in the red zone. And the red zone offense has been a big problem for the Ravens all season long. They have one of the worst red zone offenses in the NFL. I believe coming into this game, they had the 30th worst red zone offense in the NFL during the regular season. And that showed up once again in this game. Their inability to score in the red zone, not being able to score 7, that hurt them. And when you get into the playoffs, especially in games like this, the teams that are able to go the furthest are the teams that are able to take care of the football and the teams that are able to score in the red zone. Most playoff games are close, so therefore, the team that has more red zone success, I think, wins more times than not, because touchdowns are always worth more than field goals. And when you play the kind of style of football that the Ravens play, smash mouth football where they want to chew clock, you got to be able to score touchdowns. 3 points isn't good enough. If you're going to have 10-minute drives that are 17 plays long, you got to be able to score. Because, yeah, you're keeping the opposing team's offense off the field, but at the same time, when you're taking so much time off the clock, when you have a team that has an offense that's capable of being able to score at any time, just like that, you got to be able to put 7 on the board. You can't have these long drives and just come away with 3 points, because then you don't give yourself a lot of time late in the game. The Baltimore Ravens, I feel like if Lamar played, they probably win this game. A healthy Lamar wins this game. Now, I don't know if it was 60%, 70% Lamar wins this game for the Ravens. I think Tyler Huntley played really well. The late game decision making, the coaching decisions, you can all criticize that, scrutinize that all you want to. But at the end of the day, the players got to execute. I don't really think that the decision to call a quarterback sneak with Tyler Huntley was the worst thing that we have seen all in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, I saw a way worse play call when Kevin O'Connell on 3rd and 1 called a screen pass to Kirk Cousins. That was way worse than the quarterback sneak on 3rd and goal from the Baltimore Ravens. And I want you guys to really think about it. Think about it. If the Ravens don't fumble the football in that situation and Tyler Huntley does get stopped and he doesn't score, right? They still have another opportunity. It's 4th and goal. So it's like, I really don't understand why so many people are making that play call out to be so bad, like it was so terrible. The Cincinnati Bengals won this game. The Bengals, they're still my pick to make it out of the AFC despite the injuries that they have on the offensive line. I mean, they've been here before. They've done it last year. I believe they can do it again. You look at the Buffalo Bills, they're a reckless football team. Josh Allen, I don't think I trust them to take care of the ball in the game against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he's way too reckless. He could have a turnover similar to the one that Tyler Huntley did, because he also has struggled taking care of the football in the red zone as well. So I like Cincinnati to still make it out of the AFC, man. Like, this defense with their defensive coordinator, they still are able to make big plays and big stops and big moments. This defense is playing some really good football, just like they did in their playoff run last year. Joe Burrow, although you do have concerns about how the offensive line is going to hold up, I think that you can trust Joe Burrow with how he's played in the fourth quarter of games this year. If the game is on the line and you put the ball in Joe Burrow's hands, regardless of the offensive line situation, he's going to find a way to get it done. With Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst, like, there's too many weapons for this Bengals offense to just get completely held back by, not having a great offensive line. They've been here before. They know how to win with having a not so great offensive line. I still think they can get back to the Super Bowl despite the offensive line play not being the greatest. Yeah, I wonder how they may hold up against the Bills or the Chiefs, but at the same time, the Bengals don't beat themselves. And that's why I'm so confident in the Bengals' ability to make it out of the AFC still. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, yeah, they're ultra talented. They're way more talented than Joe Burrow. But Joe Burrow's no slouch. This guy has good IQ, always understands the situation, knows where he's at every point of the play. And the dude is just super tough. The dude is super resilient. He broke out of a couple of sacks in this game against the Baltimore Ravens that made me think, oh, okay, I didn't know Joe Burrow had this kind of athleticism in him. So I'm not too worried about the Bengals having the injuries that they have on the offensive line. It's not like the offensive line played all that great during the season anyway. Even when La'el Collins was in the lineup, the offensive line was still giving up 2-3 sacks a game. So, I mean, I think the Bengals are still going to be fine. Yeah, it is a concern, but I still believe that they're going to make it out of the AFC.